welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming another episode of the Lunar podcast, and it's been a minute since the last one. I kind of just disappeared for a little bit. I've just been so busy with a new job and stuff, so I am happy to have some time to film today. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done a ton of knitting since the last podcast, which I think was like 2 months ago, maybe. I don't know, but I do have some things to show you and some things to talk about, so I thought it would still be fun to film one. And I missed you guys a lot. I started getting some messages on Instagram from people, and it motivated me a little bit. Yeah. And also I knit something that also sparked my knitting mojo back up, so I'm feeling pretty good. I think first I'm going to go ahead and do a little update just so I can make sure I say everything that's on my mind currently before I dive right into the knitting, which will definitely distract me from saying the things that I want to tell you guys. So yeah, first off, I want to say that this is an inclusive platform. I want my Lunar Knits platform to be inclusive to everyone. Black lives do matter here. They matter everywhere. And if you guys don't support that, I would love if you just left my channel, because that's something I'm very passionate in learning about recently. I wish it was something that I had learned about long time down the road, but unfortunately that wasn't taught in my home. But I am making up for lost time now and putting in the work that I need to make sure that I'm anti-racist, and that's what I want my platform to be as well. So I just want to know everybody here is loved. This is a safe space and you are welcome. So yes, it feels a bit weird to transition into just talking about myself and knitting after that, but I do just want this to be a platform that you can come to make you feel relieved and happy and just get lost from the world for a little bit, because that is 100% what it is for me. This is where I come whenever I'm happy. This is where I come whenever I'm sad. It's just what it is for me, and I want it to be that same thing for you. So no matter what you're going through, you can just come here and get lost for a little bit and talk about yarn. Getting back into my life, as you guys know, I am living with my parents back in Indiana. I'm still here. I did decorate a little bit. Got some yarn set up and a bag over here. So I guess I've settled a little bit. I do wish I had all of my things here. I'm looking forward to moving out before the end of the year and getting my own place. I think I did decide to stay in Indiana at least for a year and figure things out, but I do have some other thoughts running through my head of what I want to do. So we're just taking it day by day, and I'm feeling really good about it. All my decisions are kind of falling into place as they happen, and I really appreciate it. And I'm noticing all of those things, and it makes me feel really good. So I haven't been posting on like any of my social media, and that's just because I've been so busy with my new job. I think in my last podcast I mentioned I had an interview. I did get that job. It was at a doggy daycare, and I was working full-time 10-hour shifts, and so I was always just tired. I know, and I just didn't feel like coming home and knitting. And it was a really big bummer, definitely. I love knitting, and I hate when I get in the slumps where I don't get to knit. However, my job is very fulfilling as well, because I have two passions in life that I'm happy to have found. One is yarn, and the other one is dogs. So I literally just get to play with dogs all day. I did recently leave that job due to some incidences that happened that were not taken care of in a proper way to make me feel comfortable and safe. So I applied at the best doggy daycare here in town, and I actually got a job there, and I start on Monday. So I definitely wanted to get this filmed because I don't know how that's gonna go. The hours are different, the shifts are different, so I think I will have a little bit more time and motivation to come home and knit at the end of the day, which would be great. I'm just trying to kind of get my life back on track, which is going great, by the way. I feel really good about how far I've come, and yeah. Also, you guys might notice a little bit of different quality. I did finally upgrade my phone. I was using an iPhone 8 Plus to film all my videos for like the past 3 years, and the screen on it got cracked, and then the microphone wasn't really working great, and it kept crashing because I have so much stuff on it. And I was moving my phone plan over anyways to be on my parents', and we just decided that I should go ahead and upgrade since I do use it for work. They were so supportive, and I'm very excited. I hope the quality is great, and I am looking forward to watching this back. And I'm using the front camera, which is cool because I think the front camera is still better than the camera that I had on my old phone. So we're doing good. Aside from working and not really doing too much knitting, I've just been hanging out with friends, going on hikes, hanging with my dog. Things are going pretty well. I've been just enjoying life and having a little bit of fun as much as we can in COVID. Obviously, I haven't been going out to restaurants. I haven't been going out to bars, anything like that. I haven't gone anywhere really than to somebody's house who is also not going anywhere. So I feel pretty safe and comfortable. So just working, staying home, hanging out, and it's been good. I very much can't wait to get back into knitting. I hope that the Mojo sticks around a little bit. And that just leads me into finished objects because I do have a couple. One I do not physically have here, but I did take a video before I sent it back off to its new home, which was with Sorella yarns. I did a sample knit for her. If you guys remember, I was knitting the Once in Floral sweater by Max and Sear. I did finish that and I shipped it off to her and she loved it, and I am going to insert the clips of that right here. Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you my finished Once in Floral sweater before I take it off to the post office. So here it is. This is a sample knit that I did for Sorella Yarns, previously known as Handmade Home Fibers, and it is made out of her Spring Botanical collection. So you can't buy it anymore, and I don't know any of the color names because I didn't get any labels, but let me give you a little close-up here. So there was this nice creamy yellow color for the background of the flowers, a very pale light contrasting pink color, and then the main color is this beautiful tonal blue with lots of creams and even some speckles of green in there, which were really pretty, some chartreuse colors. So again, this is the Once in Floral sweater by Max and Sear, and it was definitely a labor of love. This is a fingering weight sweater, and it definitely knit up like one, especially this color work. It gave me a lot of headache, but it wasn't hard by any means. There's just a lot going on, and if you don't particularly love color work, then you know it can kind of drag a little bit, but we finished it in 1 month, so that's pretty awesome. I was just taking pictures of it, but I'm taking a little break from pictures to film this. I had a couple of things I wanted to say about it. So it is a unisex sweater. I knit the size medium. I knit this for, you know, the yarn company, and Ashley, the owner, is taller than me and like broader, and like I'm very petite and she's not, so I think it'll fit her a lot better. It's pretty baggy on me, but I kind of like it. It's kind of a vibe. I'm here for it. It feels really good and lightweight. The gauge is like a more true fingering weight gauge than a lot of patterns are nowadays, so it's like a 26 stitch gauge per 4 inch, so I really like that because I like the fabric it creates opposed to like a really loose gauge. But I like it. It's just like a slouchy, sweatshirty type of thing. It is a unisex pattern, so you can knit it for men or women. It was designed by a man, so there's that. So I do have one thing I wanted to say about it that kind of bothers me, and it's the sleeves. They're incredibly long. So yeah, I actually did shorten them just a little bit because, I don't know, I felt weird about it. Although, like I said, Ashley is taller than me and her limbs are probably longer, so I assume it's going to fit her a lot better than it does me. I mean, I do like these sleeve lengths on me, but wow, are they huge. So as you can see, my arm is right here, and then I can I can cover my whole hand with the sleeve, and I did shorten them just a little bit. But you know what? That's okay. I still like it. I know Ashley is going to love it, and yeah, let me do a little spin for you. The back of the sweater. And there we are. That is my Once in Floral, and I really like it, and I can't wait to send it off. This was probably one of my favorite knits I've ever done because it's so involved up here in the yoke part, and like I said, it's definitely a labor of love to knit a fingering weight sweater, and I have no problem sending it off to its new owner because I know it's going to be loved just as much as I do, and that's my favorite part of sample knitting, is getting to hear the feedback of the new owner and watching them love it and enjoy it, because that's what brings me joy, is seeing my knits bring everybody else joy. Oh, one more thing. This was the first time I did a rolled hem neckline, and I'm here for it. I might have to do it more often. So it's a 1x1 rib, and then you fold it under and sew it, and sew it down, and it gives you a really nice neck. So that was something that you have to do afterwards. So you cast on for whatever size that you're doing, and then later on you go back and you pick up for the ribbing. which I kind of liked. It gives you a nice little structure there, and it brought everything in, and I think it looks really nice. I do know some people just did like an I-cord bind off here, or an I-cord around the neck, because the neckline is very beautiful without this as well. I just did it to pattern because I'm knitting it for somebody else, but if I was knitting it for myself, I might have decided to do that I-cord, because I really did like the neckline of it like that as well. But again, this is the size medium. I think it's a 40.5-inch bust, and I did get gauge, and I didn't block it. Like, I washed it and then I laid it flat, and the only pins I put were at the bottom, so I made sure that it was the right length and it wasn't like too wide. So I blocked it to the correct length and the side and the correct width. That was it. 3 pins at the bottom, no other pins. I wanted everything to suck back up, and because it was the perfect size after I knit it, so I didn't want too much growth, and I think it did a great job. The color work looks fantastic. This is probably some of the best color work I've ever done, which is very exciting that I'm getting better at it, especially something this crazy. And I know that you can see like some holes in the color work, but that's actually where the increases are. There's lots of increases throughout the color work yoke section. So yeah, and since this is a superwash yarn, it doesn't stick together like a natural fiber would. So you kind of get a little bit of holing going on there. But I am going to take a couple more pictures, pack this up, and get it back off to Ashley, and I can't wait to hear what she thinks of it. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of it. I definitely would recommend this pattern if you are adventurous in color work or you really like flowers. I personally do really enjoy flowers, so it's tempting to knit myself one, but I probably won't. Anyways, here we are, the ones in floral. Thanks for watching, and back to future Lori. Bye. Those were filmed on my old iPhone and quite some time ago. I don't even know what it says in those clips right now, like currently, until I go and edit this. So hopefully it's good footage. But I have since ordered my yarn that I get in return for doing that sample knit for her, and I'm so excited to get it. She did a Moana pre-order, and I got this like really beautiful neutral colored with speckles, because you guys know I love color. And I have been trying to make sweaters that were more neutral and wearable, and not just like big colorwork sweaters and things like that, because I want to build like a timeless wardrobe that hopefully I'll be able to wear these sweaters for years and years, but I still wanted to incorporate some color. So I got that yarn, and then I also got a mohair to maybe use with it or to incorporate with one of my other yarns. So I just wanted to have some additional mohair in my collection because I do really love mohair. So yeah, I'm excited to get that. I don't know when it's going to ship or anything, but I'm going to start looking for sweater patterns for it. Even though I have so many sweater quantities that I know what I want to knit with them already, I don't know. Also, sorry, I keep looking at myself instead of the camera. I'm going to try to get better at that, but no promises. Nothing's perfect here on the Lunar Knits podcast, as we know. But yeah, that is all about that finished object. I really loved doing that sample knit, and it's definitely one of my favorite things I ever knit. It was so time consuming. The light contrast was such a cool thing. Like, I would have never put that together, and I love that about sample knitting. I've talked about this before, but I just love when they send me colors that I would never have chosen, and it really opens my mind to other things that I can do for myself in the future, because I sometimes find myself in a closed box, like, okay, this is all you can do. But then when I do things like light contrast colorwork sweaters, I'm like, wow, that's really neat. Like, yeah. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with that. Let's just move on to the next object, which is what I'm wearing. So I cast this on a couple of days ago because I had this Karen latte cake sitting in a box in the corner of my room for months because I was going to do a project with a company, and then it ended up just not working out because of COVID and everything. And all I could think about every day, I'd go to work and I'd be like, I have that latte cake and I want to make a sweater with it, because I have this like memory of whenever I was a kid in the early 2000s, late 90s, I had a sweater that was like fuzzy like this, and it just reminded me of this yarn. So I was like, I'm gonna make a sweater. And I went on Ravelry a couple of times, didn't find anything. And then finally, one day I found this sweater called the Poof tee. I will put the name of the designer and everything on the screen. Never heard of the designer, never heard of this sweater or anything, but I liked the shape of it. I liked the short sleeves, and I knew that this was gonna be perfect. So here is my poof tee. I did make a lot of modifications because I did mess up the numbers and the yoke, so I just kind of did my own thing. And this pattern only has 3 sizes to begin with, and the smallest size is the one I was making, which was a 44-inch bust. So it's not very size inclusive, but it's very easy to modify. Like, you would just keep going with the increases, I would assume. And I did modify mine because I messed up. So it kind of just turned into my own thing, and I didn't even use the pattern after. So this is what it looks like. I will stand up a little bit. I'm wearing it with my mom shorts, so you can do a little tuck in there. And that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. You can see how fuzzy it is. It's so soft. I love it so much. So let's get a little back view. It's the same in the back. There are some short rows, so you'll notice like that stripe is a little bit thicker in the back than it is the front. But I love the fit of this so much. Let me adjust here. And it only used half a cake of yarn. Like, I literally have a whole half a cake, and I'm gonna knit a little sweater for my friend's daughter who just turned 11. I don't know, I had a sweater like this when I was a kid, something furry, and I know the 90s are coming back in the early 2000s style, so I thought it'd be fun to like make her one. I don't know, random, but yeah. So I already told you that I made some modifications. It was just had to do with the numbers. I just didn't increase as much as the pattern said, because I really didn't want it to be a 44-inch bust because I have like a 36-inch bust, and I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more fitted than that, because the original pattern is like super baggy yoke and sweater and then tight sleeves, but I wanted it all to be tight. Like, not tight, but a little bit more fitted than what the pattern was asking for. And this is a self-striping yarn, so since there's less stitches up at the top, the stripes were a little bit thicker, and then they get thinner, as you can see, and then they get a little bit thicker again. I thought that would bother me. It kind of does, but at the same time, it kind of gives it like a scrappy feel. And I knew that was going to happen the whole time. I didn't really know how it would turn out. But honestly, I think it's fine. I think it just adds to the character of the sweater. I'm not bothered by it. I think they might make some solid cakes, which I'd be interested in checking out. I got this from Michael's, by the way, and I believe it's like $10 for a cake. So this really only costs $5 to make. Talk about affordable. I know we have been discussing in the knitting world a little bit more affordable yarn options. And as you can tell, I am a bit of a yarn snob. I do work really hard for my yarn. I don't just spend money and buy yarn. I can't do that, unfortunately. I really wish I could. Yeah, I am a bit of a yarn snob. I like my wools. I like my really nice linens and cottons and things like that. But I still have a really big spot in my heart for commercial yarns, especially Lion Brand Thick and Quick. That is my go-to, like, if I'm making anybody a gift, that's what it's coming from. And I love stuff like this. Like, this I will wear. Like, it's not just a regular acrylic. It's a really soft acrylic. It's not like Red Heart Super Saver, which I have nothing against that, but we all know it's a little scratchy. This is a acrylic nylon blend, so it's very easy to care for and, like I said, affordable. And I'm going to be able to make 2 sweaters out of this yarn, and I'm so happy about that. And I'm already thinking about going to buy more, because if they have a solid one, I'd love like a full length sweater, like with long sleeves out of this. It's such a vibe. I love it. But I also had to, on the sleeves, make sure they lined up with the stripes on the body, because I split for sleeves in the middle of this light stripe here. So I did have to add a couple of rows of the light stripe, and then I cut it and I added a couple rows of the next color. That way it kind of lined up a little bit better. So that's one thing to think about when you're doing sweater with like self-striping yarn. Just make sure you're lining up with the sleeves if you want that. So you kind of have to make sure that you have enough yarn. Luckily for me, I got to the light color that I needed by the end of my sweater. Like, I bound off with this color, and then the next color was with this color. So I only had to cut off like 2 feet of yarn before I was to this one. So it lined up really perfectly. I'm very happy about that. And then the next sweater that I make will have 2 light stripes instead of just 1. But I kind of like how this one only has 1. It's fun, scrappy, like I said. I do really love this sweater. And I have a Ravelry project page up. The colorway of this yarn is called Blackberry. I don't know if you can still get it. Like I said, I've had this yarn for a really long time. So if you want to see a couple of pictures, you can check out my Ravelry page. Also, if you can see this bruise here, it's from work. I bruise very easily, and those dogs, man, you should see my legs. They crazy. I don't think I have much else to say about this pattern. Like I said, I really enjoyed knitting it. It was like a really quick project. I believe it calls for a bulky weight yarn, and I think that this is a little bit thinner than like a traditional bulky, because I think like with it being fuzzy, you kind of want a bigger gauge so it's like really fuzzy. I did not gauge swatch. I still haven't gauge swatch. I know it's like a 12.5 stitch gauge, so it's really great for a lot of different chunky yarns that you might have in your stash. I personally do recommend this yarn for this project. It's adorable. And if you make one, please send me a DM on Instagram because I want to see it and be encouraged to make more. So yeah. All right. And I have 2 works in progresses to show you guys. I am still working on my turtle dove sweater, but I haven't made a whole lot of progress on that. Maybe like an inch of just plain knitting. So I don't feel the need to show that again. And I haven't done any work on my tea leaf cardigan. I just need to make one sleeve. It's been like 4 years and I just need to make one sleeve. So maybe I'll get there. Fall is coming up and that is an encouraging thing for that sweater, but I have since cast on 2 new things instead. So I'm going to start with a sample knit that I'm doing for 614 Knit Studio, and this is taking much longer than it should. I got this yarn like 2 months ago. I've been feeling a little guilty, but you know what? Life happens. She understands. But I do want to finish this so I can take a quick trip. Also, the AC just kicked on, so I'm going to talk a little louder. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but yeah. I talk pretty loud anyway, so I'm sure there wasn't even going to be an issue. But anyways, I want to finish this by the end of the month because I want to take a trip down to Columbus, or up to Columbus, to give it to her and just get it off my conscience, I guess. I don't know, and maybe get more yarn because I clearly need it. But this is the Boho Romance Crop by Annie Lupton by Boho Chic Fiber. So here it is. Very cute, did the Boho Romance. And I am using the exact yarn that she uses in the pattern. So this sample knit for Andrea, she just wanted it to be the exact yarn. So this is the Jill Draper Maker's Stuff in the Kingston. And this is a DK weight wool, which is 100% Targhee wool. There are the factoids about it. I have found that this has been hurting my hands a little bit. I am making a yarn review video for this yarn. I started it whenever I started the sweater. Haven't made much progress on the sweater since then, so it's gonna be until the sweater is done, at least before that comes out. So I'm not gonna go too much into depth about this yarn, but you can see there's still some hay in there. It's a very rustic style yarn. I do find it quite soft for me. I mean, I've been knitting with lots of wools for a while and different types, so I can appreciate a rustic wool that is kind of scratchy, but it's still soft in my opinion. Some people may not find that. And it's got these little flecks of blue in there, and I even think there may be a couple of yellow flecks, but that also could just be little bits of hay. So yeah, it's really pretty. This is, I think, the Hasbrook Avenue colorway. I think that's the colorway. I might be wrong. Anyways, so this is a top-down yoke style sweater where all the increases are in the same spot, which gives you this really cool effect. A lot of times whenever you knit yoke patterns, it's probably like a colorwork yoke, and the increases are spread out in different ways to incorporate the colorwork. But this is a solid sweater, so she just works all the increases in the same spot. This is going to be hard to show because it's all bunched up, but it gives you a really pretty look to it. I do enjoy that. And I have a ton of stitch markers on here to help me, you know, not have to count where the increases are going. It's just really easy. This does use like a lift it increase, which is really nice and kind of invisible in a way. So if you've never done that before, it's a technique that you will learn for this. And there are some short rows in there as well, which I've already worked. So I'm just working through the yoke. I have a few more increase rounds, and then I will split for the sleeves, and then you kind of knit a little bit. And then there's a lace pattern and a picot bind off, which I'm very excited for. And then just 2 long sleeves. So it's a pretty easy, straightforward project. It's just getting through it for me because I haven't been motivated for a while since I started this. And also this yarn kind of hurts my hands a little bit because it's not like the stretchiest yarn. I don't know if you guys can see. Like, it just doesn't have that much give, so it kind of hurts to use it, and it's a little bit bigger of a gauge than I usually work with. Like, I don't often work with DK weight yarns. This is like an exception. This really did start hurting my hands after a while, but since it was like, the yarn was so soft and it had a little bit of give to it, it wasn't so bad. But this yarn doesn't have much give and it's a bigger gauge. So that's kind of what's been holding me up on it, but I do want to get some work on it. Maybe I'll try to force myself to do it today. I know once I get to the split, I'll be fine, but it's getting to that point, which is tough. And then through the sleeves. I don't love sleeves, but it'll be worth it. I am making the 44-inch bust size, and I'm making a couple of modifications that Andrea requested. So once I start doing those, I will let you guys know what they are. And again, I am making a yarn review video on this yarn. So if you want to hear more about it and what my thoughts are on it and if I recommend it, when that video comes out, that will be for you. But I'm going to keep working, and hopefully by the next time I make an episode, which I don't know when that will be, I will have a finished sweater to show you in that as well. Okay, moving right along to my next whip. It's something I also started a while ago. I'm also making a yarn review on the yarn that I'm using, and I haven't put a lot of work on it for probably a month. So it's not a whole lot to show, but I am really enjoying it. It's super fun. It's really cool. I'm using a linen silk blend yarn by Sweet Georgia. I think it's called Flax Silk. I don't know. Again, I will put it on the screen here, and I am making a yarn review video about it, so the details will be in that video. But I am making the Cloudsy sweat tee. I forget who the designer is, so I'll have it on the screen as well. I'm really bad. I forgot how to podcast, guys. Basically, it's just a little t-shirt that has a V-neck, which I really like, and then in the back it has this like cabled panel. So this panel is made using slip stitches, and then you cable those slip stitches, and it just looks really pretty. I am enjoying it. Right now it's a little bit of a slog just because it's worked flat, so I do have to purl, but I will be joining it in the round eventually whenever I get to that point, and it'll go a little bit faster. I really am enjoying this yarn. It's very cool. It's soft, and it's a little bit stretchier than if you just use a linen yarn. So this is Sweet Georgia silk, Flax Silk or something. Again, I'll have it somewhere in this video, but this is the colorway Pumpkin. So I am gonna alternate skeins. I haven't started yet. I was just gonna wait until I joined because I think they're slightly different in color. And as you can see, messy cake, because I definitely have I ripped this tee out like 4 times when I was starting, because it has like a sleeve cap. Can you guys see that? It's got a different way of working a sleeve than I just didn't understand what was going on. And then I kind of figured it out, and it all makes sense kind of now. I can't wait to get more into it so I can see how it comes together, because I've never constructed a top with like this situation. And I got this color because this is like my color. Like, I have a shirt and it's my favorite shirt, and it's pretty close to this color, and so I wanted to knit myself a top using yarn in the color. That way I would always have like, I don't know, like a not store-bought sweater. Yeah. I can't really remember what size I'm making. I think I'm making the second size, possibly. I should figure that out. I do only have 2 skeins of yarn. However, it is a short sleeve pattern, so I'm not worried at all. I should have more than enough yarn. Probably have a little bit left over even. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to getting back onto this one. But I told myself I need to finish my sample knit before I can finish this, or before I can work on that again, which is kind of dumb because I knit a whole nother sweater instead. But I was trying to get my mojo back, guys, and I couldn't stop thinking about this yarn, so forgive me. But that is all of the knitting I've been doing. Like I said, it's not been a whole lot. I just put a couple stitches on a project here and there as I feel a little bit motivated to do that. And it hasn't been a lot lately, and that's okay. It's supposed to be for fun. Yes, I do have some deadlines sometimes, but it's supposed to be for fun for me, and I have to always remind myself that, because I don't want to fall out of love with this craft. It means a lot to me. It's got me through a lot of things, and I hate going through slumps, but they happen. We all go through slumps where we just don't want to do it, and that's okay. We don't have to knit. It's gonna be okay, and you can always pick it back up whenever you want. So I am just trying not to feel bad about that. And you know what? It's okay, because I knit myself a sweater that I really like to encourage myself to get back into knitting. And I must say, it kind of is working. So I did have a couple of other things I wanted to show you, really random, but I used to keep my pins on my bag here. This is just a Hook Nook bag from Joann's, but it was like too thick for the pins to stay on and they were all falling off. So I got this little clutch from Knit Picks that was only like $5, if that. I don't even know if it was. And I put all my pins on here. So I can definitely use this to put things in, but right now it's more of just like a pin holder, which I'm very excited about because they actually stay on, which is nice. And the goal, I don't want to lose any of them, but I do have one new pen that you guys haven't seen, and it's this one. This is by Shelly Can. I got it from 614 Knit Studio with some of my credit that I had, and it's so cute. But yeah, these are some of my pins if you guys have never seen them. This one my mom got me. Actually, I don't know if I showed you this one either. My mom surprised me with this pin as well from Twill and Print. So yeah, that's that. I just thought it was a fun way to store my pins. I wanted to share it with you guys in case you were also having the same issue, and I can definitely use this for something in the future, whatever it may be. And last but not least, the last thing I want to show you is my mom surprised me with one of these really cool bags from Ghana. Yeah, Ghana. She found it at the farmer's market and she thought of me and she picked it up for me, which was so sweet. It's such a cool shape. It's gonna make for the best little knitting basket. I do have some yarn in there right now. I think that is the Barocco Estivia cotton yarn that hopefully I'm gonna make a sweater with eventually, but we haven't gotten there. So it's just blue and green, which I'm gonna treasure this literally forever because my mom thought of me when she got this, which is so cool. She thought of it for my knitting specifically, and it's a gift from my mom, which my mom isn't like a very gifting person in that sort of way. She'd rather do experiences and just like take care of me extra well and like whatever I need. So when she gives me things, like they're always so special. And then she thought the blue and green because when I was a kid, my childhood bedroom, which is right upstairs, we redid it completely one weekend, just the two of us, and we painted every other wall blue and one green. And then the ceiling fan was the same way, and I had these blue and green curtains, and it was just like this special memory that we always talk about and we share. So it's really cool that I have all of it tied into this because that room is no longer blue and green. It's been redone. So I don't know. And then it's got these gorgeous red handles. I'm obsessed with this. Like, she did such a good job picking this out. She knows nothing about these bags. I know they're pretty popular in the knitting world. I've never seen one in this shape, but she saw it and I was so excited because I always wanted one. So yeah, I just kept the little tag on there because I want to remember more about it before I finally cut it off. So it just has a little bit of the information. So yay, I have a little knitting basket now to add to my collection of ways to carry my knitting. Plus, I think it'll make beautiful home decor when I finally move out to keep it like in my living room or something. It matches my style completely, which is great. But that is pretty much everything I've been working on. Not a whole lot. Everything I've been up to, which is a whole lot of working, and I absolutely love it. I do hope to start making more YouTube videos again. Like I said, I have 2 yarn review videos in the making. I love my podcast still. I 100% want to make some more tutorials. So if you guys have any requests for tutorials, leave it down below. I just love YouTube and I hate whenever I take these little breaks. It drives me crazy. Like I'm constantly on YouTube. I'm constantly on Instagram. I may not be posting, but I'm still like very much into those things. And I've learned so much from just being on Instagram and being on YouTube about marketing and social media management. That's really gotten me a lot of opportunities recently. So it is kind of a passion of mine. I guess I kind of have 3 passions. This, yarn, and dogs. I don't know. I get very involved in the things that I like, and I don't like whenever I can't do them. So I'm trying to find balance still. If you guys have any tips on how to balance all the things that you like to do in your life, then let me know. Because sometimes I find myself just being lazy, and I need to be motivated so I can do the things I love and feel really empowered all the time, because I always feel so good whenever I film one of these videos. So enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below on what you're working on, or what kind of videos you want to see, or how your summer's going. Literally, let's just chat down below, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, hopefully coming soon. All right, guys, bye.